Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon here in Kansas City, and it's also Dressed to the Nines Sunday. Get dressed up, come to the ballpark like they used to, as Kansas City honors the Negro Leagues, and we will talk about that more as we move along during the game. But right now, it's time for baseball, as Hyundai presents the Sunday Game of the Week. This afternoon, it's the New York Yankees against the Kansas City Royals in the rubber game of a three-game set from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees evened the series last night with a 5-1 victory, but in the fifth inning, it was knotted at 1, and the Yankees decided to turn to the long ball.
Well, they did, and it was Johnny on the spot for Chase Headley, as he's going to get a 3-2 changeup off of Danny Duffy. As Michael said, in a 1-1 game, it's no longer 1-1. It's now 4-1. A 3-run shot, Headley's fifth on the year. Probably all the Yankees would have needed last night, but Alex, just in case, going to come up in the ninth and add an insurance run. An absolute bomb to right center field in this big ballpark. Rodriguez is number 10 on the year at the quarter pole of the season. Going to have to revise those projections up on his home run total for the entirety of the year.
All right, that was last night. Today's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. Edinson Volquez will get the start for the Royals. And for the Yankees, it's Chris Capuano making his first start of the season.
Yes, a devastating quad injury in spring training for Capuano, who is slated to be the fifth starter, but has looked good in the rehab appearances. You're going to see a lot of sliders, a lot of changeups, a guy who knows what he's doing, good pickoff move to first base, does all the little things well. Chris Capuano needed right now in that rotation, obviously, with Chase Whitley's injury.
All right, so 3 appearances in rehab assignments, 1-1, 1.84, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts in 14 2/3 innings. Opponents hit .241 against him. He could probably give the Yankees about 100 pitches today. We'll hear more from Chris Capuano in just a moment as he warms up in the outfield before his start. Meredith Marakovitz will be with us as we return right here on Yes.
Yes, the Yankees will try to take the series from the Royals this afternoon. Final game of that 3-game series coming your way in just a couple minutes. Hi, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. Chris Capuano will make his 2015 season debut. Capuano was sidelined in spring training with a quad injury. Took him some time to get back, but he is looking forward to getting back out there on that mound and getting his 2015 season underway.
I'm ready to go. You know, I pitched 2 times down in AAA, and before that a few times in extended spring training. So I'm excited to be back here in a big league ballpark and with my teammates, and hopefully to contribute tomorrow.
Joe had said that one thing he will look out for a little bit is defensively fielding the position to make sure that nothing goes wrong with that quad. Is there any hesitation on your part in regards to that?
No hesitation at all. You know, like I said, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I haven't even thought about the quad, and you know, in my sprint work between games, or you know, covering first or fielding bunts, the muscles felt fine, so no worries there.
To make room for Capuano on the roster, Brian Mitchell has been optioned back to AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. Michael Kay and David Cohn coming your way next with lineups. First pitch baseball right here on Yes.
Come discover great deals during the Chrysler Drive and Discover event. By Heineken, open your world. By RE/MAX, nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. And by your Tri-State BMW Center. Well, it is a beautiful day here in Kansas City, Missouri. This is the rubber game of a 3-game set. Another big crowd here expected at Kaufman Stadium. And as we mentioned, the Royals won the first game on Friday. The Yankees won last night. And today, Chris Capuano will be making his first start against Edinson Volquez. Everybody here is dressed up to the nines, or at least most of them, as we mentioned, as we honor the Negro Leagues and the Kansas City Monarchs, as the Kansas City Royals will wear throwback uniforms, and the Yankees on their road uniforms will wear a patch with the number 28 on the sleeve, the 28 representing the number that Ernie Banks wore when he played in the Negro Leagues. And there is that patch that's on the Kansas City uniform, the Monarch uniform, kind of a cream color, and looks beautiful. It really does. So the Royals are dressed up as it's a throwback Sunday to honor the Negro Leagues. Negro League Museum is actually here in Kansas City, and just a nice thing to do by the Royals. And as we mentioned, the dress to the nines things in the old Negro Leagues, David, on Sunday you used to come all dressed up. It was a big deal to go to the games that come in suit and ties. Now looking into the stands right now, I don't think everybody adhered to the dress to the nines, but some people did, and it's a nice touch.
Very nice touch.
You see the pictures of the old ballparks in the 1920s and 30s, everybody had on suits and ties and hats, and it was a big deal to go to the ballpark. Now people opt for more comfort. Well, the Royals have taken the field. Why don't we take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. Yankees 22-16 on the season, in first place. In the East, they'll lead off their center fielder, Jacoby Ellsbury. The left fielder is Brett Gardner. He'll bat second. Hitting third and DHing, Alex Rodriguez. First baseman Mark Teixeira cleans up. The catcher is Brian McCann. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Carlos Beltran. Chase Headley, the big hero last night with a 3-run home run, he'll be at third, and he'll bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing second base, Stephen Drew. And Didi Gregorius will get the start at short, and he'll bat ninth. And for the Royals, on the mound, it will be Edinson Volquez.
Yeah, the righty's finishing up his warm-ups. And you see on the year, this will be his eighth start. Good ERA. Walks a little up for him. He usually has a little better control than that. 17 walks in 42 and a third innings. Let's go ahead and check out the pitcher's scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And Shields' replacement. A lot of talk about James Shields leaving via free agency out to San Diego. Who would replace him? Well, this is the guy they brought in. A little bit cheaper, though, than it would have cost to keep Shields. They got maybe a 3-year deal. The third year's an option, $20 million guaranteed. A little more affordable, obviously, than Shields would have gotten. And tough to hit. Well, he's been tough to hit his whole career, really. 206 batting average, 32 for 155 this year so far. And especially tough against left-handed batters. Just 188 lefties are batting off of him. Mainly because of that great changeup that he features. It's his best pitch, and certainly above average in terms of the grade scale on changeup. So going to be tough on the Yankees today to try to see that changeup from Volquez.
I don't want to check out the Royals defense, which is presented by Geico. You've got Dyson in left today, Kane in center, Orlando in right. So Dyson replaces Gordon, and that's a little bit of a drop. Dyson's a good fielder. Gordon's a Gold Glove winner. In the infield, it's Moustakas, Escobar, Infante, and Hosmer third to first. Perez behind the plate. Volquez is on the mound, and Gordon is fine, just giving him a day off against the left-hander. So he lurks as a pinch hitter later on in the game. So the Yankees in the middle of another long road trip. They lost 3 out of 4 to the Rays. They split the first 2 games here against Kansas City. After this, they'll fly to D.C. Tomorrow's a day off, and then Tuesday and Wednesday against the Nationals in an interleague matchup. Volquez is ready. Ellsbury's ready. Let's do it here in Kansas City. And the first pitch is a fastball strike, and we are underway. Chris Guccione is the home plate umpire. James Hoy at first. The crew chief, Bill Welke, is at second, and John Tumpain is over at third. Breaking ball outside.
See a lot of these Royals players featuring not only the old school uniforms, but the old school stirrups. High socks around today.
And the 2-1. High pop-up. Escobar in short left field makes the play. Well, let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. It's a beautiful Sunday, 74 degrees. Wind is pretty high, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Humidity 61%. Clearing skies, gusty winds. And boy, the Yankees and the Royals really lucked out last night. The game was under 3 hours, although it dragged from the first inning to the fourth. And then the skies opened up, and there were flood warnings all around the area, and there were tornado warnings, and it rained for most of the night. It was an amazing weather front that came through. But it looks like it's blown through, and we have a nice day.
Yes, we were very fortunate. Several events in the area were canceled last night. The only one that got through was the Royals game.
Now, they have an MLS soccer team here, which plays 20 miles from here, and they were scheduled the same time as the Yankees and the Royals last night. That game was canceled because of lightning. They did not want to imperil the crowd, so they sent everybody home, but didn't have any of that here. Just a little bit of a rainstorm in the bottom of the fifth, but it went away, and they were able to complete the game. 1-1 on Gardner. Gardner had the day off yesterday in terms of the starting lineup. Going up against the lefty Danny Duffy, but back in there against Volquez.
Volquez really bounced back last year with Pittsburgh. Had a 13-7 record and a 3.04 ERA, and became a free agent. I thought it was a good sign by the Royals.
Now, they made an attempt to keep Shields, but they weren't competing with the marketplace. He ended up signing with San Diego. He's gotten off to a decent start. But when they made the trade, they pretty much assumed they were going to have him for 2 years. And they hoped that he would change the culture, and he certainly did. Strike three. Gardner down looking.
Slow walk. Obviously, Gardner thought this ball was in and up a bit, but good running movement on that pitch. You see Gardner reads inside, and it tails back towards the inside corner, and Gardner doesn't like it, but silent protest and back to the dugout.
A-Rod takes a strike. A-Rod had a home run in the 9th inning yesterday to make it 5-1. And he sent it to right center field. And he's the only right-handed batter who's hit an opposite field home run at Kauffman Stadium this season. As David has told you throughout the series, it's deep into the gaps. In fact, the last Yankee player to hit an opposite field home run at this ballpark before last night was A-Rod himself. And that was in 2007. And David, it wasn't the worst pitch. It was a low fastball. He went out and got it and really drove it.
It might have been called a ball. It was actually low. It was out over the plate, but it was borderline low. And that looks like a 2-iron, a golf shot out the other way.
There's a ground ball to short. Escobar fields. And that will do it as the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the first. Yankees nothing. Royals coming to bat. Is ready. He just bounded out of the dugout and was standing on the field alone, waiting to begin his warm-up. So when you went on DL for a month and a half and you're waiting to make your first start, you want to get out there, and he is out there. So let's take a look at the lineup that he's going to face, put together by Ned Yost, the manager of the Kansas City Royals. Royals coming in 23-14, and they lead off their shortstop Alcides Escobar. Mike Moustakas at third base, bats second, batting third, and playing center field Lorenzo Cain. Eric Hosmer, the first baseman, cleans up. Number 5 hitter, DH Kendrys Morales. Salvador Perez, the catcher, will bat sixth, batting seventh, and playing second base Omar Infante. Paulo Orlando in right field, he'll bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing left field is Jared Dyson.
Capuano is ready to go. Going to look at last year's numbers combined with Boston and New York. Much better with New York, which is why the Yankees signed him back in the offseason to be the 5th starter, and he now is ready finally after that quad injury that everybody's talked about.
And we'll get you the scouting report in just a sec as Escobar digs in. Yankees have held him to 1 for 9 so far in the first game of the series. Royals won Friday night 12-1. Yankees last night 5-1. There's a strike.
Let's go ahead and give you the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And a Royal welcome. He's never faced the Royals. You think about it, 278 games Capuano's appeared in, never faced the Royals. Really good pickoff move. That'll come in handy today. And the last one, I think you'll like this, Mike. He's overqualified to be a pitcher. You don't have to be that smart to be a pitcher. And he's a Phi Beta Kappa from Duke and valedictorian at his high school, too, in Massachusetts. So way overqualified.
Yeah, but you were a stealth brainiac. We all know you were smarter than the average bear, so.
It's impressive. Capuano's good to talk to. He knows what he's doing. That certainly adds to his value.
Boy, he had a smile on his face yesterday in the clubhouse. Just couldn't wait to get back. There's a base hit off the bat of Escobar. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense behind Capuano. Brought to you by Geico. In the outfield, it's Gardner, Ellsbury, and Beltran. That's left to right. Infield, Headley, Gregorius, Drew, and Teixeira. Third to first. McCann behind the plate. We told you all about Capuano on the mound. This is a significant day in the history of Capuano. He actually made his first major league start on this date, May 17, 2003, for Arizona. The pitch to Moustakas is a strike.
I like how the Royals are going all the way with the throwback look, even the helmets.
Yes, I thought that too.
Good look right there, the Monarchs.
And they're going to auction off the uniforms after the games. They'll autograph them and auction them off, and the money will benefit the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Yeah, usually you see throwbacks, David, and they have the same helmets on.
Yeah, they don't go all the way. The Royals have gone all the way here. I like the numbers on the pants, too.
That one's bunted off the plate and then goes behind the plate, foul.
Not really a sacrifice, obviously, as Moustakas taking a shot at beating the shift.
Now, this is a team photo of the Kansas City Monarchs of the Negro Leagues, and they also have the numbers on the pants, so they have attention to detail today. That was in the early 50s when Ernie Banks played on the team, and that's why they have the 28 on the sleeves of the uniform. Except for the guy on the left, everybody's about the same height. One, two. Grounded to second. There's one. And Teixeira can't handle the return throw. Now that was Headley who took the throw at second base. Not used to turning it. And his throw pulled Teixeira off the bag. So it's a fielder's choice, and you scored 4-5.
Exactly, Michael. And this is tailor-made for a double play as Drew handles it, and Headley, the third baseman, playing the shortstop role. Just hung onto it a little too long. Teixeira's got to dive and can't get the handle.
Well, we mentioned this yesterday, David. I understand the strength of the shift. It takes hits away. But they still haven't figured out how to cover bunts with it, and you're putting people in uncomfortable positions at second base to turn the double play.
Yes, it is still a work in action, as teams around the league are trying to figure out how to shift, who to shift with. And hitters, conversely, are adjusting to it, trying to hit the ball the other way and bunt.
Lorenzo Cain fouls it back.
It's up to the hitters now It's up to the hitters to make that adjustment. We've seen these Royals hitters do it very well, going the other way the whole weekend. This guy in particular, Lorenzo Cain, very adept at going the other way.
Cain so far in the series is 4 for 8 against the Yanks. Let's look at the Chrysler hitters scouting report on Lorenzo Cain.
Yes, Zach Greinke, thank you very much, because Lorenzo Cain was the payoff. Was acquired from the Brewers back in December in 2010, along with 3 other players in exchange for Greinke and Yuniesky Betancourt. And obviously he was the 2014 ALCS MVP. What a series he had, hitting .533, a couple of doubles, 5 runs scored when they swept the O's, and loves lefties. Low Cain is his nickname. He's hitting .404 versus lefties this season. That's the highest batting average versus lefties in the majors. Minimum 50 plate appearances.
Swing and a miss. Cain strikes out against Capuano.
Sneaking the fastball by him. Good backwards pitching. You get ahead with the off-speed stuff and then sneak a heater by him with 2 strikes, as you see how late Lorenzo Cain is. We mentioned that trade before on the Chrysler hitters scouting report. A couple other players in that trade were Jake Odorizzi, who's doing pretty good in Tampa now, and also a pretty decent shortstop named Alcides Escobar was in that deal as well.
Those are the trades that save your team. When you've got a player that you know you can't afford when he becomes a free agent and you have to trade him, you want to bring back guys that make your team better, and that's what the Royals did. They knew they had no chance to sign Greinke, who's now with the Dodgers. One and one to Hosmer.
Capuano very efficient so far, 4 for 4 in first pitch strikes.
Grounded foul. You also might hear in the background something that you don't hear that much anymore. You do hear it in Yankee Stadium. They have an organist here. They're not playing the canned music that you hear all around baseball. They have really turned back the clock on this Sunday. Grounds crew is dressed up in the old Monarchs uniform, caps and pretty cool pullovers. 1-2. Now, the only person I think in the ballpark that does not appreciate the organ music is our high home plate cameraman, Dave Thrower, who's standing right next to the organ the entire game. He's hearing it and living it and feeling it. There he is. He's just elated. He told me before the game, I'm just elated.
What, the guy's not taking requests?
I think he asked him to play an old Simon and Garfunkel song, Sound of Silence, but he said no. Looked like they skimped just a little bit on the ball boy helmets. They stayed with the Kansas City Royal helmets there.
There's a pecking order.
The 1-2. 2-2. So the Yankees are in first place in the East with a 2-game lead over Tampa Bay. And Kansas City and Detroit are now tied for the top of the AL Central, both with 23 and 14 records. 5 games separate the Yankees from the Orioles, who are in last place. Two-two. Swing and a miss. Good first inning for Chris Capuano. No runs a hit, no errors. One man left. We played one. Nothing on Yes. Is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. We started the conversation with this. Given the positions they played, is Adrian Beltre's 400th home run more impressive than Miguel Cabrera's? Why or why not? Chris Giraldo, 22, said, I say no because Miggy is still in his prime and will hit a couple hundred more. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going. Now, I don't know which one is more impressive. 400 is 400, but David, Adrian Beltre might be a Hall of Famer.
Quietly under the radar because he plays both sides of the ball. An outstanding defender at third base for his entire career.
Mark Teixeira fouls it back.
I think in the batter's box, and we've had this debate, MVP debate, Mike Trout, best player in the game. With a bat in the batter's box, there's nobody like Miguel Cabrera. Just that part of the game alone. One of the best hitters you will ever see. Certainly one of the best hitters of our generation or his generation. I want to start factoring in defensive base running. Okay, that's a different story.
Fly ball center field. Locane is there and puts it away for the first out. David, do you know what happened 17 years ago today?
I think we talked about it before, but I forgot. You mentioned it.
No, did not mention this because I wanted to spring it on you during the game.
Okay, what happened 17 years ago?
Good buddy of yours did something really impressive.
Good friend of mine.
Big fella. Not much hair.
Ooh, yes, of course. May 17th. Of course I know that. I think he's watching the broadcast right now, too.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw him on Twitter.
What's up, Boomer? David Wells pitched his perfect game 17 years ago today. That was a strike. Time really flies, huh? 17 years in an eye blink.
It really was. Well, that particular game 17 years ago by David Wells really set up our season in 1998. From that point on, we just seemed to roll as a team. When we looked up at the end, we had 125 wins.
Take a look at the timeless moment presented by Coors Banquet. He was dealing. It was against the Twins. O'Neill made the final catch for the final out. 4-0. Don Larson also went to the same high school as David, Point Loma in San Diego. And that was the previous perfect game for the Yanks.
David Wells is now the head baseball coach at Point Loma High School. They're 14-9, Michael. They're going to the playoffs, so pretty good first year as a head coach.
I remember talking to David last spring training, and he really wanted to get a major league job, but there were not a lot of bites. He said, you know what? I'll coach my old high school. And is he enjoying it?
He really is. He's having a great time. And as I said, his team is actually going to the playoffs this year, so good luck with that, Boomer.
David, you remember this later that season, and it wasn't too far after that. Boomer had a perfect game into the 7th inning against the Oakland Athletics.
Yes, he was a nervous wreck. He was almost relieved that he didn't have to go through that stress in the latter innings.
Now, he told me after that near perfect game, he said, I'm glad I didn't pitch a perfect game. I said, why? He said, you know what, as great as the other one was, he said, it's so much work and people want a piece of you so many times. He said, I had the one. I'm glad I pitched a good game against the A's, but I did not want to pitch another one.
He's lying.
You didn't mind pitching your perfect game, right?
Not at all. Would have loved to do it again and again. The adrenaline rush that you get in the 9th inning, just incredible.
Boy, McCann really hanging in there against Volquez.
The 10th pitch of the at-bat.
And the final pitch as McCann strikes out.
Another changeup fading down and away. Volquez can throw that anytime, any place. He'll wake up in the morning and fall out of bed throwing that changeup.
There's Carlos Beltran, who has had a nice road trip. He's 7 for 20. He also has an 8-game hitting streak. He has his average up to 233. And he was on the interstate for a while there. This April did not look good, but he's starting to swing the bat. Chop to first. Hosmer there. And the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. And we go to the bottom of the 2nd. Nothing.
Update brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Montefiore Inspired Medicine. There you see it, Masahiro Tanaka. He's been throwing bullpen sessions, but tomorrow is the big day in Washington. He'll throw another bullpen session. If that goes well, he could make a rehab start as early as Thursday. So far, everything has been good with Masahiro Tanaka. He has not felt any pain in his wrist or his forearm, so the Yankees are extremely encouraged with the progress that he has made so far, trying to come back from the DL.
So the Yankees, most of the Yankees have an off day tomorrow, but some are going to be there to see what he does and then move on to a start on Thursday. Thanks, Meredith. We'll hear from Meredith a little bit later on. Kendrys Morales chops one foul. He had his 10-game hitting streak snapped last night.
Yeah, you get the feeling that Tanaka feels really good. He would like to accelerate this process, but Yankees playing it very carefully with him, and rightly so. Very valuable arm.
Fly ball right field. Beltran for the first out. Tanaka did some soft toss today in the outfield. And he knows he's coming back, David, so he's starting to grow that mustache and join the group. I think there's just a couple of holdouts. I don't think Beltran has gone that route, and I don't think A-Rod has. Here's the Royals catcher, Salvador Perez. He plays all the time. Caught a night game last night. Here he is catching a day game today. And it just doesn't happen that much in everyday baseball anymore. Caught 146 games last year, and then all 15 postseason games. And early in his career, the Royals signed him to an unbelievably team-friendly contract. I mean, they're getting him for less than the price that most backup catchers make. And he hasn't said a word. Signed the deal, gave him some security, and it is what it is.
The Royals recognized early that he was the guy that was going to lead them behind the plate. They locked him up before they really even had much big league experience.
He's one of the leaders of the team, even in the clubhouse. People gravitate toward him. He's gregarious and real team guy. And the payoff. That one is drilled to left field. Going back, Gardner still back. He's on the track. He leaps. He can't make the play. It's a home run. Gardner thought he had it lined up. Over the glove, over the wall. Home run number 5 for Perez. 1-0 Kansas City.
Salvador Perez really stays back on this 3-2 changeup. Full extension, bat head out in front. Just enough to get it over the fence.
Here is Omar Infante. That's the 20th ribby for Perez. Traveled 366 feet.
Good plate coverage, too. I mean, Capuano on 3-2s trying to throw a strike. Outer third of the plate, up just a bit. Good job by Perez.
Fly ball right field. Beltran puts it away for the second out. Let's take a look now at the Royals team scouting report, brought to you by Mohegan Sun. Full of action, full of possibilities, full of life.
Yes, it is. The Mohegan Sun, home cooking. Royals are 12-5 at the K this season, second best home record in the AL to the Twins, who are 14-5 at Target Field. The surprising Twins, might I add, and a plus 49 run differential. That means that the Royals have scored 49 more runs than they've given up. Second only to the Dodgers, who are at plus 57, and the Penn Power, obviously, that Royals pen deep and good. 1.63 ERA. That's the best in Major League Baseball, and the only bullpen with an ERA under 2.
Paulo Orlando takes a ball, 1-0. 3 for 8 so far in this series. Filling in for Alex Rios on the DL in right field for the Royals. 29-year-old rookie from Brazil. On the home run, David, did you think that Gardner, the wall kind of took him by surprise? The wall kind of stopped him from leaping.
I think a little bit, yes. I mean, it wasn't a really high fly. You know, it was kind of a medium line drive high fly out there. And looked like Gardner, yeah, maybe he was just trying to get to the spot and then jump and kind of ran into the fence.
2-0. Popped up. Teixeira right there and puts it away, and that'll do it. But the home run by Salvador Perez gave the Royals a 1-0 lead. Goes back, and the wall kind of stopped his jump. It's 1-0 KC as we go to the third.
Game changer from last night's game. Chase Headley into the bullpen on a 3-2 changeup from Danny Duffy. Headley's number 5 on the year.
And just like that, he leads off here in the third as KC leads the Yankees 1-0. On the scoreboard at center field, it's the Monarchs leading the Yankees 1-0. Audi A3 scoreboard, 1-0 in favor of the Royals. Or the Monarchs. Fly ball, left field. Gerard Dyson makes the play. Well, David Wells has rung in from his official Twitter account at BoomerWells33. He said, "I'm really glad it didn't happen the second time. Coney's full of it. It was very stressful."
We've gone back and forth on Twitter a few times, the Boomer and I. We'll have to get one going again here in a minute.
Here's Stephen Drew. Stephen picked up 2 hits last night, single and a double, 2 for 4, so he's 3 for 19 on the road trip. Average at 183.
Kansas City Monarchs, Michael, who really were so well known in this area. One of my favorites of all time. I wish I really would have got a chance to see pitch live with Satchel Paige. The all-time greats. I think everybody's got a bucket list, you know, of guys, you know, that old question of, well, if you could go back in time and have dinner with 3 different guys or one guy with Satchel Paige, that's on my bucket list. I'd love to go back and talk to him.
Fly ball, left center. Kane and Dyson converge. Kane makes the call and the catch for the second out. Well, from the museum, there's the statue of Satchel Paige, who eventually made it to the major leagues. He was in his 40s. He was getting people out.
He still was. It's a shame that we could not see him pitch sooner in his prime, but that is at the Negro League Museum right here in Kansas City. A beautiful statue. Fantastic place for baseball fans. If you're in Kansas City, I highly recommend you get over there to the Negro League Hall of Fame and also the Jazz Musician Hall of Fame as well, side by side.
What was Satchel's great line? Don't look back, something might be gaining on you.
Exactly. Satchel was also known to barnstorm. He would hop in his Cadillac and drive anywhere for the next game.
Gregorius pops it up. Make the seats behind the screen. Yankees looking for their first base runner. Volquez has retired the first 8. One and 2. Gregorius, as you saw in that graphic, 2 home runs against Volquez lifetime. A 1-2. I'm going to show you those home runs. 2013. He has 13 home runs in his career, 2 of them against Edinson Volquez.
Going to be interesting to see what John Sterling's home run call will be for Didi Gregorius.
I'm sure he's got a plan. But not now, as Gregorius goes down on strikes. And Volquez is perfect through 3. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's 1-0 KC. Prior to the game, the Yankees will celebrate the career of 4-time world champion Bernie Williams with a special ceremony where the Yankees are going to retire his number 51 and dedicate a plaque in historic Monument Park. For tickets, visit Yankees.com or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849 today. David, you're going to be a part of that. That should be a really nice night.
I will. We're all excited for Bernie. So well liked. Spent his entire career with the Yankees.
Here's Gerard Dyson playing left field, batting 9th today.
Got a little update, Michael, from Jeff Quagliata, our research specialist up in Stamford, Connecticut. He said Satchel Paige appeared in his last MLB game with the KCAs in '65 at the age of 59.
Wow.
With 3 scoreless innings.
Grounded to first, backhanded by Teixeira, takes it to the bag. 1 away, so you still have something left. You're not 59.
59 years old with 3 scoreless innings.
Next time we see you on the mound will be Old Timers Day, right?
I'm no Satchel Paige, I'll tell you that.
Here's Alcides Escobar. He singled in the first inning. And a strike from Capuano. See Capuano with 35 pitches. He said yesterday he could give the Yankees about 100 today with no problem. He said the problem with his injury was he had to shut it down completely, and then when he finally felt healthy, he essentially had to start spring training all over again, build back the arm, and that's why it took as long as it did. He said, and when he got hurt, he felt the tear, and he knew it was going to be a lengthy injury and a comeback as well. Those quads take forever. Calves aren't too fun either. Here's how it occurred in spring training.
Just a normal play. Pitchers do this 1,000 times in spring training. Get over there. Cover first base. Right at the point that right leg goes to reach for the bag is when the tear happens.
Swing and a miss. Escobar down on strikes.
Working quickly, a lot of strikes. Good slider down and in.
Here's Mike Moustakas. One and 0.
Capuano, you know, with enough fastball, up to 90 miles an hour. Certainly not a power guy by any means, but not a cunny thumber either. He can sneak a fastball by you. Haven't used that one in a while. Cunny thumber, huh?
Well, it is kind of a throwback Sunday.
It is. It's throwback.
Take a look at his delivery in Yesmo, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
The
Their
horseshoe
tri-state dealers.
Yeah, excuse me. Horseshoe grip on the slider.
They shift for Moustakas with 3 infielders on the right side. But he has been known to go the other way this year, and that's why he's hitting .324. Lots of hits to left. And he kind of showed his hand against the Astros toward the end of spring training. They shifted. They're one of the teams that shift a lot. Very analytical front office, as the Yankees are. And he laid down a couple of bunts, grounded balls through the left side of the infield. And now teams that play the Royals from the Central Division, they don't shift that much against Moustakas. No shift for that as he strikes out. And Capuano retires the Royals in order. We go to the 4th. 1-0 KC. against Real Salt Lake. Watch New York City FC presented by Etihad Airways next Saturday night at 10. Right here on Yes. It's Real Salt Lake. Because it's owned by the same people that own Real Madrid. But since it's in Salt Lake, it should be Real Salt Lake. But we'll say it as it should be said. The Lincoln scoreboard shows KC up 1-0.
Kind of like the real Michael K on Twitter.
That's right. But I prefer it to be Real Michael K.
There you go.
All right, so the Yankees looking for their first base runner. 9 up, 9 down over the first 3 against Edinson Volquez. And Jacoby Ellsbury will start it off here in the 4th. Well, there's a nice crowd here at Kauffman Stadium. 3 good crowds in a row with the Yankees in town, and despite bad weather on Friday and Saturday. Kind of an interesting story in the New York Times today, which noted that the Yankees have the lowest road attendance in baseball, and they led the major leagues in road attendance in 4 of the last 5 years. But there are some caveats to that statistic. As Ellsbury goes down on strikes. This game is the Yankees' 24th road game. 7 of the games that the Yankees have played on the road have been in St. Pete against the Rays, and they've been unable to draw flies with anybody coming in. The last 4 games the Yankees played there, crowds of 10,000, 10,000, 12,000, 12,000. So it kind of skews the number. And also when they played in Detroit, it was weather in the 30s. That held it down a bit as well. But this weekend, big crowds here in Kauffman Stadium. Keep playing well, people will come out. Yankees have always been a great draw on the road.
I can tell you this, after the blowout in the first game of this series, there's just a different level of excitement for most teams, especially here in Kansas City when you beat the Yankees. Just a little extra sweet. People love beating the Yankees all around the country, especially here in Kansas City. So, yeah, I would agree with you, Michael, that that number will, as they say, regress to the mean before the season's over. And the Yankees will have those numbers go up.
And the 2-1. Fly ball, left field. Dyson makes the play for the second out. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Dodge. I'm sure there are 2 big crowds for the Nationals games, which come up Tuesday and Wednesday as the Yankees travel to D.C. after this one. Then Thursday, another off day after Monday's off day. Texas Rangers come to town for 3. Then Kansas City on Memorial Day at 1:05 start. And then the Yankees hit the road on the West Coast, starting with 4 in Oakland. Here's A-Rod. One and one. Now, we mentioned this the other day. Joe Girardi not tipping his hand, but with his conviction of not playing A-Rod in the field anymore, A-Rod's going to be a pinch hitter for the 2 games in D.C. No designated hitter in the National League parks. Now, the Yankees had a stretch a couple of years ago when Matsui was on the team. 9 straight games in National League cities. Joe Girardi really railed about that. He said it was silly scheduling to affect an American League team like that. And Matsui got 8 pinch hits in those 9 games. But after that rest, he went off on a tear the next 2 weeks. So maybe the rest will help A-Rod. That one is drilled to right field. It's deep. Going back Orlando. He leaps. He can't make the play. And A-Rod will jog into second with a double. Missed a home run by just a bit. So again, good opposite field power as the Yankees pick up their first hit.
Well, there goes the no-no. There goes the perfect game. And almost a shutout with one swing of the bat. Just by that much. A little over a foot. Almost in the same direction as Alex hit his 10th homer last night. More like 6 inches from a home run.
Now, one thing the Yankees are probably a little bit worried about with A-Rod, he's not running well. He's jogging to first. You could see he was jogging to second base there. And ever since he tweaked his hamstring, that's when Joe said, I'm going to keep him out of the field. And he has not run well at all. So maybe these next 4 days could rejuvenate the legs.
It's an excellent point, Michael, especially about Matsui getting that rest and getting hot afterwards. It's definitely a much tougher schedule than it used to be for these guys nowadays. Jumping time zones. Commissioner Rob Manfred has talked about shortening the schedule, maybe pulling back to a 154-game schedule. Remains to be seen. But the travel is much more difficult, even than when I played 10, 20 years ago, Michael. A lot more is asked of these guys, especially the Yankees, who a lot of times are playing a Sunday night baseball game on national television and having to travel. Rarely getting breaks for day games on travel days. Arrived here in Kansas City about 3 or 4 in the morning Thursday night.
And they play night games with the Yankees. Even if you don't draw a crowd like you do in Tampa Bay, they have very good television ratings. Night games are worth more than day games. So that was a perfect day to have an afternoon start, but the Yankees always play the night game on a getaway day, and they get in very, very late. Did that get him? And yes, it did. So he will go to first base. So Volquez with the hit by pitch rather than the walk.
Get another look. Yes. Right up the big toe.
Joe Girardi quickly out with trainer Mark Littlefield. Also Tony Pena, an interested observer. Looks like everything's okay. You ever punt someone on 3-2 so you don't get charged with a walk?
No, I never thought of it. I wish I would have, though. I got to save some walks.
So a big spot for Brian McCann here in the 4th inning. Yankees trail 1-0 on the home run by Salvador Perez. So the Yankees have their first hit, now their first threat. First and second, 2 outs. Got the breaking ball in for a strike.
Brian McCann, more than anybody, as you see, that's borderline high, right down the middle though, is hitting poor luck recently. Really hit a lot of line drives right at people over the last several games. His RBI totals are good. His average down to 235 right now, but the popular phrase now, exit velo off the bat. Everybody wants to talk about it. McCann certainly has hit the ball hard with not a lot to show for it.
Time call. Very quick feet by Chris Guccione. Got out from behind the catcher in a hurry.
Have to go back to 2008 when Volquez broke in. Really, as a rookie, he was 4th in the voting for Rookie of the Year in 2008. He was 17-6 with a 3.21 ERA. That was with Cincinnati. He came to Cincinnati, if you remember, in that big Josh Hamilton trade. Josh Hamilton now on his way back to the Rangers. Probably be making his debut pretty soon, Michael.
Wonder if it's going to be at Yankee Stadium next weekend. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got a fastball right by him upstairs. McCann strikes out for the 2nd time today. Yankees get a hit. They strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 4th. NHL playoffs. Do not miss Fox Sports Live tonight at midnight. You can see it on Fox Sports 1 or catch the simulcast of Fox Sports Live right here on Yes. All right, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Chris Capuano, his first start of the year, has allowed a home run to Salvador Perez, and KC leads 1-0. Lo Cain will lead off. Lorenzo Cain. Now, the Royals are unusually tight-knit for a professional club. And Cain was asked, have you ever been on a closer team in terms of friendliness and hanging out together? He said, not in college, not in high school, not in the minor leagues. He said, this is like something I've never seen. They all hang out together. And they said the guy that really turned it around was James Shields, who the day he got there said, listen, it's hard to win games. He said, so every game we win, let's celebrate. Let's make it a big deal when we win a game. And the whole team has followed suit, and they've kept that going with Shields gone. In fact, they installed a smoke machine in the clubhouse. So when they win a game, they come in and they have smoke there and they're dancing around. Loud music. We got to get a smoke machine in the booth. That would be fun. A little dry ice, something like that. 1-2. Did he go? No.
Well, there's no doubt that these Royals came up together. A lot of these guys played in the minor leagues, rode the buses together, had some tough times. So it makes it that much more special, including the connection with the fans.
There are some teams like the old Red Sox teams that used to say 25 guys, 25 cabs, which meant on the road after a game, they'd all take a cab and go their own way. They didn't hang out together. But this team seems like they hang out together all the time. And Kane walks. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices, real-time highlights, live look-ins, a pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Blackout restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Also, for a team to be close like that, David, you all have to be essentially the same age. I mean, sometimes if you have veterans and they're married, they have kids, and the family makes some trips with them, it's hard for everybody to hang together. But the Royals are essentially a very young team. David, Scouting Report told you that it's hard to run on Capuano, who has a good move to first. Ned Yost does not control the running game here with the Royals. It's the first base coach, Rusty Kuntz. He tells you whether to go or not. Each coach has a responsibility.
Most pickoff moves in Major League Baseball among active pitchers. Mark Burley's #1 with 82, Clayton Kershaw #2 with 49, and Capuano third on that list. 36 pickoffs since 2003.
Blocked by McCann.
Really zero history with Capuano in regard to this Royals lineup. Just one guy. Omar Infante had 18 at-bats. Came in 7 for 18, hit .389, but everybody else, other than Kendry Morales, who had 3 at-bats, it's the first time they faced each other.
2-0. 2-1.
This is one of those games, Michael, where if you're Capuano, obviously you're worried about the lineup, but you do take note of Volquez throwing the ball well, and you're in the middle of the game in a 1-0 game. So do you pitch any differently? How do you quantify that over the course of a season or a career? I don't know that you can, but I know from an emotional and a mindset standpoint, knowing Capuano, he knows what kind of game he's in right now. Leadoff guy on base, Hosmer up. You know that you can't afford to give up too much more here with the way Volquez is throwing and the Royals bullpen looming.
3-1 on Eric Hosmer.
Good pitch count so far, although finds himself a little behind the 8 ball here. Just a really good hitter on a 3-1 count. Capuano very unpredictable. Throw any pitch in any count.
Will they send Kane with a 3-2 count? One nothing KC, bottom of the 4th. Runner on first, nobody out. 3-2 count on Hosmer. Pitch. Just missed inside. So 2 straight walks to open up the 4th inning.
We've seen it with Sabathia, the ability to pick off the inside corner. So twice now, just missing for Capuano. First to Lorenzo Cain, and now to Hosmer. Now first and second, nobody out. can be the difference maker for starting pitchers. The ability to thread the needle and get called third strikes on the inside corner.
Bounced up there. 1-0. Now McCann wants to talk with Capuano. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. There's a strike. Yankees are 12-7 this year against teams that currently have winning records. And that's the second best mark of its kind in the majors. The Giants, fewer games. You see Esmil Rogers warming up. Giants are 8-7 against above 500 teams. And the Royals are third best, 11-7 against winning teams. I said he could go 100. He's at 58. You think fatigue might be setting in, David?
Well, it's not just about the number of pitches. It's about the labor, the effort. These are high-stress pitches here. Have to be very, very careful in this situation. And, of course, the Royals bullpen. So not only, we talked about pitcher's mindset, Michael, obviously the manager thinking about down the road, keeping this game as close as possible because of how devastating that Royals bullpen is.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, nobody out. There's a base hit to right field. Kane rounds third, charging is Beltran. They're waving Kane home. The throw comes into second. It's an RBI single for Morales, and it's 2-0 KC.
Well, another opposite field base hit for the Royals in this series as Morales out over the plate as Capuano was trying to go in and left that one out. Morales just shoots it the other way for an easy RBI single.
Let's get an update from Ryan Rucco in the studio. What's up, Ryan? Oh, thanks, Ryan. Wow, that's tough, David.
Very tough. Gut-wrenching.
Before your perfecto, had you come 2 outs away?
Well, I came
1 out away?
2 outs away. I lost one in the 9th inning, and believe me, it's a crusher. Obviously, the most important thing is to win the game. Well, a lot of times when pitchers lose a no-hitter, they fall apart because you get so distracted. It's such an emotional letdown.
One-0 to Perez. 1-1. So the 2 walks by Capuano have certainly hurt him in this inning, and then a single by Morales. For Morales, his 30th run batted in, so a good free agent signing by the Royals. 2 years, $20 million. Power hitting switch hitter.
Capuano started the game 7 for 7 in first pitch strikes. Since then, he's 2 for 8.
Pass to diving Headley into left field. Hosmer rounds third. They're sending him home. The throw is cut off by Headley. It's an RBI single by Perez, and it's 3-0 KC. And that is going to do it for Chris Capuano. The last 3+ innings, he's given up 3 runs, and he leaves first and second, and nobody out. So Joe Girardi will make the Verizon call to the bullpen. He'll bring in Esmail Rogers to face Omar Infante, and Capuano's first start is done. By People's United Bank NA, putting the power of know-how to work for you. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2015 models. All right, so the Yankees are going to try to stop it right here as they bring on Esmail Rogers. As Capuano goes 3+ in his first start of the year. And this will be Rogers' 12th game. Here is Infante. You know, we know about the Royals' first-round draft picks, David. We know Hosmer. We know Moustakas. We know Gordon. But Salvador Perez, who's kind of the rock of this team, was signed for $65,000. Sometimes you have to click on those, too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Great point with the June draft coming up.
That's ripped inside third and down the left field line. Morales scores. Perez will go to third. It's a double for Infante and an RBI, and it's 4-0 KC.
Well, a big series for Infante as he has really hurt the Yankees. His big triple off of Michael Pineda broke open the first game on Friday night, and clearly starting to swing the bat much better. His average creeping closer to 260 now as he came into the series hitting closer to 230. So another line drive double for Infante that really puts the Royals in a position to break this game open right here in the bottom of the fourth.
Well, the Yankees have to try to cut off these runs, so they bring the infield in with nobody out. A ball squeezes through. It could mean 2 runs. Here's Paulo Orlando as Capuano, a very interested observer. Foul back to the screen, 0-2 in Orlando. Looked good for 3 innings and then walk, single, and out of the game. And now the Royals on the verge of trying to break this open. Right off the end of the bat.
Bill Rogers certainly has the ability to strike hitters out. Needs one desperately right here on an 0-2 count. You got a couple of shots. Nobody out, second, third. Perfect time for a strikeout. Brian McCann's thinking the same thing behind home plate.
Slowly to Teixeira, holding up at third as Perez, one away.
Well, that works too. Good slider. Squib job. Right to Teixeira. Nobody advancing.
Here's Dyson, again infield in.
Dyson Moore, the 4th outfielder now on this Royals alignment, just came in with 57 at-bats, batting 193. Excellent speed, though. Omar Infante, after that double, now 5 for 10 in this series against the Yankees with 2 RBIs. 3 for 5 on Friday night was a big night. He's really hurt the Yankees. Bottom of the order.
Oh, and 2.
Excellent job by Rogers, jumping up once again, 0-2. Now you start to get greedy. Second, third, nobody out. You got the first out. Now you're really thinking, I'm going to Houdini this.
Swing and a miss, got him. Big strikeout for Rogers to try to keep it here at 4-0. Now the Yankees could push the infield back.
Indeed, good slider right over the heart of the plate and down. Excellent depth, straight down with the break. Dyson straight over the top.
There's a strike to Escobar.
Escobar at the top of this Royals lineup sort of epitomizes their style. Hard to strike out, hard to walk, but hot. Slashing style of a hitter all over the ballpark.
Slow roller to first base. Teixeira's there. And Rogers stops the bleeding, but 3-run score on 3 hits and 2 men left. It's 4-0 KC. Is leading 4-0 on the Bigelow T scoreboard. 4-5-0 for the Royals, 0-1-0 for the Yankees. A 1 hit for the Yankees. An opposite field double by Alex Rodriguez, and he missed a home run by about maybe a foot. The height of a foot would have gone over the wall, and followed after that by a hit by pitch of Mark Teixeira, and that's the Yankees' 2 base runners. Brian McCann struck out to end that threat in the 4th, and then the Royals knocked out Chris Capuano with 3 in the bottom of the inning. So we go to the 5th. Carlos Beltran grounded to first in the 2nd. When Beltran signed a 3-year contract with the Yankees before last season, the Royals were tremendously disappointed. They wanted to bring him back home, and they made a comparable offer to the Yankees, almost equal in every sense, including years. When he signed with the Yankees, they were very, very disappointed, and his reasoning was, after playing with the Mets for all those years, he and his wife felt comfortable in New York, and also felt the Yankees, with their propensity to play in the postseason, gave him a better chance to showcase. I think he's never said this out loud, but he felt a couple more big postseasons, he could make a run for the Hall of Fame.
No doubt about it. He wanted the Yankees badly and waited for them.
There's a strike on 3-0. Ground ball to the right side. And there's 2 1 away. This is Beltran as a Kansas City Royal. He had speed. He had power. Really was a lightning rod for that team. They made a bid to keep him when he was going to become a free agent. Wasn't enough, and they ended up going to Houston and had an unbelievable postseason, and then signed that big contract in the free agent market with the Mets. That ground ball by Beltran was fielded by Moustakas, so it scored a 5-3.
We're going to stop talking about the shift because they just shifted Moustakas right to where Beltran hit it on a 3-1 count. No, we were making fun of that the other night. I give up.
That one is slapped into center field. A base hit for Headley. That brings up Stephen Drew. A fly ball to center, his first time up in the third. On the road trip so far, 3 hits in 20 at-bats. But he did have 2 hits yesterday. A strike from Volquez.
Volquez is throwing well, Michael. I mean, there's no doubt he's healthy again. He's had some issues with his arm over the last several years, but bounced back last year, throwing the ball up in the mid-90s today.
And Drew hits one the other way. Dyson's there. 2 outs.
I'm very impressed with his stuff, in other words. The good sign for the Royals. He actually came into this game struggling in his last 2 starts, although his overall numbers are pretty good.
Just a heads up for all of our viewers. Sometimes you'll see the center field camera might have a smudge on it because of the high winds today. Some of the water from the fountains are blowing onto the lens of the camera. So that's what you're seeing.
Need some windshield wipers.
Yeah. Here is Gregorius. And that makes the seats. First row. In between pitches, our center field camera man has to clean the lens to get the water off. (20 to 30 per hour wind), so that's why the water is blowing over toward the cameras. The 0-1. Check swing, slow roller to first. Hosmer beats Didi to the bag. And that will do it here in the 5th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're halfway through. It's 4-0 KC. (4-0 KC). And we have our first managerial casualty of the 2015 season, as the Marlins have announced that Mike Redmond has been, well, it's the second one. That's right. Milwaukee already fired Ron Renneke. So the second, Mike Redmond has been fired by the Marlins. There are a lot of rumors earlier when his job was in jeopardy that could be Wally Backman who gets that job, but no replacement has been announced. Miami 16-21 in the National League East, not that far behind, entering today just 5 games off the pace.
There's more to the story there, I think. Take some good reporting, find out the inside scoop on what's going on there. Usually with the superstar players and the manager. Not sure of what the relationship was with guys like Giancarlo Stanton with Mike Redmond, but it'll be interesting to see.
Well, they have at times in Miami had a little bit of an itchy trigger finger. They fired Joe Girardi after he won the Manager of the Year award. So we will find out sooner or later what went down in Miami. 3-1 and a walk to Moustakas. So much was expected. The Marlins, with the big contract signing of Stanton, the deals they made during the offseason, they were going to make a go of it. They're off to a slow start.
Doesn't get easier for the Yankees going to Washington after Kansas City this weekend. They are playing much better as well.
Back on April 27th, the Marlins owner Jeffrey Loria said about Mike Redmond, he's the manager, period. But sometimes there's another sentence after that period, so he ends up getting fired. That one is chopped to short. Gregorius goes to second, one on to first. That's a nice double play. 6-4-3 to double up Lorenzo Cain.
Indeed it was, Michael. As Lorenzo Cain with a chopper runs very well. So Drew, excellent turn right here as Gregorius gets it to him in time.
One and 0 to Hosmer.
Another great Negro League Hall of Famer, Michael, whose birthday is today, Cool Papa Bell. A lot of people think he might have been the fastest man in the history of the game.
The legend of Cool Papa Bell was that he could turn off the light switch and be in bed before the lights went off.
It's Buck O'Neill's story, yes. The late, great Buck O'Neill.
Three and 1 to Hosmer. Chopped over the mound, fielded by Rogers. Nice play, and he airmails the ball over the dugout, allowing Hosmer to reach. So Hosmer will take second. He makes a great play fielding the ball, David, but didn't complete it.
Yes, exactly. It looked like it was going to be a fantastic play. Tough chance over the shoulder. He's the only one that can make that play, but the wheel and the deal, not quite. So you see, probably that's obviously a grip issue. Yeah, you've got to do it all in one motion. Catch the ball, wheel around. Sometimes you throw a palm ball. That palm ball ended up in the seats.
Now it scored a hit and an error, but David, if he makes the throw, Hosmer's out by 2 feet. So it should be an error right through, but it's just bookkeeping. Here's Kendrys Morales. Morales with an RBI single in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Now has 30 ribbies on the year.
Royals came into this game collectively as an offense leading the league in total bases. That's on the strength of doubles and triples. It's not on home runs. Way down the league in terms of home runs, but at the top of the list in doubles and triples.
Let's see if they greenlight Morales or if the Yankees just pitch around him. But you've got the dangerous Perez on deck. And there is ball 4.
No doubt the intentional or unintentional walk right there. Didn't want any part of Morales.
Big night or big day for Perez. A home run and an RBI single. 21 ribbies for him. Now the Yankees can empty the bullpen today because they have tomorrow off. Then a 2-game set and then Thursday off. David, you look at Rogers' stuff, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, the breaking ball. The only thing that's left for him is to be consistent because his stuff is there to be very good.
Yes, it is. Had a shot at the 5th starter spot out of spring training, and he and Adam Warren had a good duel. Problem is when you're the odd man out, you become the long man. It's hard to get back to the rotation. You would think in spring training, according to the battle and the way it was lined up, that Rogers was your 6th starter. It was between him and Warren for the 5th spot. Adam Warren won the deal. Now when you need a 6th starter, Capuano's ready now, or they decided to reach down in the minor leagues. And Rogers firmly entrenched in the long relief role now. Although I believe he could get stretched back out if you needed another starter at some point.
The 0-2. 1-2. Well, once Tanaka is ready, they're going to take somebody out of the rotation and maybe bolster the bullpen a bit. Will it be Warren? Will it be Capuano? There's Tanaka, who will throw tomorrow in D.C. and maybe make a rehab start on Thursday. 1-2. High fly ball, shallow left. Gardner fighting the sun, puts it away for the final out of the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Go to the 6th. The Joe Girardi Show, as the Yankees manager offers an inside look at the week that was, plus get his take on the upcoming series with Bryce Harper and the Nats. It's all new today after the postgame, only on Yes. I'm told by Meredith Marakovich this could be the best show ever in this series. This is the 8th year of the Joe Girardi Show. This one might be the best.
Finally got through to him?
All right, we go to the 6th inning, and the top of the Yankee order, Ellsbury, Gardner, and Rodriguez against Edinson Volquez. Ellsbury's 0 for 2. Cooled down a bit on this road trip so far, 5 for 20. Overall hitting .329. Shows bunt, takes a strike.
Royals signed Volquez to a 2-year deal this offseason with an option for the 3rd year. 3rd year option has a buyout of $3 million, so the total guarantee was $20 million. Looks to be a good investment so far.
And when you talk to people around the Royals, the really only concern they have is their starting pitching. Their bullpen is outstanding. The lineup from top to bottom can string together hits, but whether their starters are good enough, that's the question.
Yeah, Volquez clearly the ace, although Chris Young making a bid with his 3 starts after coming out of the bully.
Escobar catches the line drive. Might have caught him as he goes down to his wallet for the first out.
Sometimes you catch a little glare in the stand. You see this ball's hit hard. And not that hard. See there, the ball kind of hits his glove. You can tell by the reaction as he didn't squeeze it right away. So he definitely lost that for a bit.
Gardner takes outside. The 1-1. 2-1. Moustakas in on the grass at third, guarding against the bunt. The 2-1. Pumping in fastballs, 2-2.
Consistently 94 and 95 miles an hour, too. So Volquez above average stuff with movement on it, too. Shows you the skill set of Perez behind home plate. Catching that tailing fastball very well and keeping it on the corner.
The pitch goes with a breaking ball that hangs, 3-2. Still 3-2. This is the third time up for the Yankees against Volquez, and teams hit 289 in their third pass against Volquez. 167 first pass, 179 second, and then 289. Fly ball left field, Dyson. 2 outs. Here's A-Rod.
From the Royals standpoint, and Volquez for that matter, this is when you want to face A-Rod. Nobody on base.
Now Alex is greeted with boos all the time on the road. Kansas City, though, very polite. Hardly heard a boo all weekend.
Been fairly subdued.
Yep. Hit his 10th home run of the year last night. And as David said in the open, about a quarter of the way through, I mean, most people predicted he wouldn't get to double figures in home runs for the season. Now he's on pace to hit 40. Can that hold up? Can that pace hold up? Can he hold up physically? But so far, he's been more than anyone could have expected or predicted.
Yes, revised projections across the board, without a doubt. I think I went on your radio show, Michael, in the offseason and said, you know what? Depending on how many at-bats he can get, maybe 15 to 20. And revised upward now.
Grounded to third, fielded by Moustakas. And that will do it as the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 in the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 4-0 KC. Dealing. Complete game shutout. You haven't aged at all, David.
I don't know who that guy is anymore.
21 years ago. Let's look at some of your numbers. 16-5 in '94. That won the Cy Young Award. 2.94 ERA. Opponents at 2.09 against you.
Gave that Cy Young. It's out here in the Royals Hall of Fame on display.
Oh, really?
Turned it over to the Royals. They asked for some sort of memorabilia. People will remember 1994. That was a strike-shortened year, so that was an abbreviated year, and the baseball writers decided to go ahead and have the awards.
Grounded to Headley off the bat of Infante. And Teixeira can't come up with the scoop. And that's going to be an error on Headley.
Yes, this is the one that's so tough, the really in-betweener for Teixeira. Usually very good at picking balls in the dirt. You see, this ball's got some sink on it, and it came up high and hard on Teixeira, ricocheting off the chest. Well, that's an unpredictable hop.
That's the 8th error of the season for Headley. And that's too many because he's a really good third baseman. There have been errors like that.
Mostly throwing.
Orlando takes high.
Michael, we've talked a lot about 5-man rotations, 6-man rotations. Joe Girardi, when he's going to give guys extra rest. It used to be done with guys like this. As you see, Rogers easily stretched out here. He could go a lot further. It's 37th pitch coming. I mentioned last night he threw 85 pitches or so in the mid-80s in that 19-inning game against Boston. That's the way Casey Stengel used to do it back in the day. He would look at matchups. Show up one day and Rogers, the ball would be in his shoe. You go ahead and start today. We're going to save Sabathia for Washington on Tuesday, or a better matchup, or an extra day rest here or there.
And it was that kind of thinking that really held down the win total for Whitey Ford, who's one of the best pitchers who ever lived, but he didn't get to 300 wins because Casey sometimes would take starts away from him.
Absolutely. It was quality over quantity, and it worked pretty well because they had a lot of championships. And in fact, when Whitey Ford did go to a 4-man rotation after Casey left, he ended up hurting his arm.
Line drive left field, and that is going to be over the head of Gardner and rolled to the wall. Infante rounds third. Here's the throw. Not in time. It's an RBI double for Orlando, and it's 5-0 KC. Well, that error bites them right away.
Well, it does. It looked like, once again, Gardner didn't quite pick that up off the bat right away, but nonetheless, it was drilled in the gap. You've got a double cutoff situation with Gregorius and Drew, so triple cutoff, actually, counting Teixeira, and there's nobody home at second base, and that's by design. We saw last night Gregorius missed this first cutout. On last night's play, Gregorius missed a cutoff and would have had a better shot at home, but nobody home at second base right there.
Pitch to Dyson is low, 1-0. It has not been the cleanest of series for the Yankees. Yesterday, good job, but Friday was an awful game for them. And you see Justin Wilson warming up. Today, 6th inning, 2 errors already. And one of the bedrocks of this team, it's built on defense and clean play and smart play and taking the right base. And we didn't see that Friday, and so far today they're getting shut out. The errors haven't helped.
The Royals are a hot team, very good offensively this year, and they really take advantage of extra outs. Once again, right here, extra outs, the guy comes around and scores.
One. Chopped right side to Shera. Flips to Rogers to get the first out as Orlando moves to third. Well, the Yankees will have to bring the infield in. And here is Escobar, 1 for 3. 5-0 KC, bottom of the 6th. Infield is in. In on the hands, fouled away.
All the talk of the bullpen of the Royals really hasn't been needed this series. This game continues. Might get another day off.
Count 0-2. Popped up shallow right. Tagging is Orlando. The catch is made. And Beltran thrown not nearly in time. So it's a sac fly by Escobar. And it's 6-0 KC. One thing I've noticed, David, I wonder if you see the same thing. Beltran just doesn't unleash it this year.
No, you know, he's had some elbow issues too, obviously, and very protective of the throwing arm and his knees for that matter.
Well, Joe Girardi has signaled for Justin Wilson with the lefty Moustakas due up. It's 6-0 KC. Bryce Harper and the Washington Nationals. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame right here on Yes. Harper is starting to be the Harper that everyone thought he was going to be, showing great power. That'll be exciting to watch him in those two games.
Not just hitting home runs, but tape measure shots. every other day, it seems.
Here's Justin Wilson, his 17th game. And he will face Moustakas. Count 0-1. One and two. See, Wilson throws hard. And when they put together this bullpen, they wanted guys to come out of the pen and just throw hard. That's the way bullpens are built now. The relievers throw harder than the starters. Although on the Nathan Eovaldi starts, that's tough. Nobody on the Yankee staff other than Dellin Betances can match Eovaldi. And Wilson gets Moustakas for the final out. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 big error, and 1 man left on base. We go to the 7th.
The Yankees 6-0 as we head to the top of the 7th. It's time for Tuesday's Probables, brought to you by Verizon Fios, the fastest, most reliable internet. For the Yankees, it'll be Nathan Eovaldi going. He'll be opposed by left-hander Gio Gonzalez. Now, Eovaldi is coming off a start against the Tampa Bay Rays where he was flawless through 6 innings, extremely economical. He did not get into deep counts. However, ran into a little bit of trouble, Michael, in that 7th inning. Judge already gave him the opportunity to pitch in the 8th, walked a couple of batters, and ultimately suffered his first loss of the season. But the first 6 innings that he threw really showed a lot of promise for Eovaldi. They're hoping he can duplicate that in Washington.
And he'll be familiar because obviously pitching in the National League, he knows the Nationals lineup, so it'll be interesting. He was supposed to pitch today, but Joe Girardi did not think it was a good idea to have Capuano, who'd been dealing with the injury issue, possibly running the bases and having to bat in a National League ballpark. So he saved Eovaldi for that, gave Eovaldi a couple more days off. At the end of the 6th inning, I had said 1 run for the Royals. It's 2, so I apologize. It's 6-0 KC as we start the 7th with Teixeira at the plate. High fly ball, deep center, going back. Kane, still back, makes the play. Boy, did that travel. One away.
Definitely a flag checking type of day with the wind here in the Midwest. Kind of swirling. That ball really carried. The 2-club wind. It's a golf term. I'm sorry, Michael. 2-club wind means you got to use more club when you're playing golf.
Thank you, David. Ripped fair inside the right field line. It kicks out to Orlando as McCann will hold it first with a single. So he struck out the first 2 times against Volquez, and this time singles to right.
Stays on this changeup. Off the end of the bat, probably broke his bat, but just enough. They get it by Hosmer, who's one of the better defensive first basemen around nowadays.
Here's Beltran, 0 for 2. Yankees trail 6-0. One and 0.
Ned Yost trying to get Volquez through the 7th inning. Obvious cushion of 6 runs right now. It's a welcome sight for the Royals, though. Volquez really did struggle his last couple of times out. Gave up 4 earned runs in Texas and 5, and then previously got beat up in Cleveland. 3 earned runs in 3 innings. Controls much better. He had 9 walks in his last 8 innings. Not today.
Count now 3-1. David's reminded you lurking is the best bullpen in baseball, and the Yankees have not really had a deal with the big 3. With a 6-0 lead, we'll see if they see them in this game. If it gets tight, they certainly will. Driven out to right center. Kane is there. He'll make the play. He's very smooth out there for the second out. Now, he forgot how many outs there were because he started jogging in toward the dugout. So that's not smooth. Well, they went to the 7th game of the World Series last year, and a big reason was because of that pen. Kelvin Herrera, 1.80. Wade Davis, 0.63. Greg Collins, 0.82. Overall, 7-1, 2.74, 7 saves. And in the postseason against the best hitters, 212 against them.
All 3 with closer stuff. Easily could be closers.
There's Headley, 1 for 2.
I think the underrated part with the Royals bullpen, Michael, too, as well, is the pieces they added. Just those 3 alone give you incredible depth. But Ryan Matson's been a revelation. Took a flyer on him in spring training. Luke Hochevar's now back from his surgery, his arm surgery.
Grounded to first. Hosmer takes it himself, and the Yankees are done in the 7th. No runs a hit. 1 man left. Time for the 7th inning stretch in KC. It's been all Royals, 6-7-0 for Kansas City. Yankees managed just 3 hits, and they committed 2 errors. Capuano first start. He lost it in the 4th inning. Before that, he looked good. 3+, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks to start off the 4th inning, and 4 strikeouts. Volquez, 7 innings, 3 hits, pitching a shutout. Salvador Perez, 2 for 3, a home run, and 2 runs batted in. So 6-0, Kansas City. And a new first baseman for the Yankees, it's Garrett Jones. Now you wonder, is that to give Teixeira a couple of innings off in a game that's certainly not done? 6-0 is not insurmountable. You also worry, David, he got hit on the foot. Is he okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a question for Meredith Marakovitz after the game. Go down there and do a little reconnaissance for us, find that out. Did swing the bat pretty well in his last at bat. You see Chasen Shreve now warming up.
So Wilson just gets the final out of the 6. Now Shreve will come on. th appearance for Shreve. 14 strikeouts in 13 1/3. So the Yankees lose 3 out of 4 to Tampa Bay, and they got 6 more outs to try to come back in this one. If not, then they'll lose 2 out of 3 to Kansas City, and the road trip finishes up with 2 games in D.C. Lorenzo Cain, 3, 4, and 5 in the Royals. Order against Shreve. One and 0. And the 2-0. Foul back.
You know, you mentioned last inning, Lorenzo Cain lost track of how many outs there were running off the field. And also how close this Royals team is. You can guarantee that there's some guys getting all over him when he got in the dugout. Maybe even a kangaroo court fine. He got a good 20 yards, too, before he lifted his head up and figured out there was only 2 outs.
Angry with himself with that foul ball. Thought he should have put that in play. Count 2-2. Cain is 0 for 2 today with a walk and a run scored. His walk in the 4th inning started the unraveling of Capuano. A walk to Cain, a walk to Hosmer, then Morales an RBI single, Perez an RBI single, and Capuano was done. Served into center. Coming in was Ellsbury, then going back to make the play. Ball kind of took off. So here is Eric Hosmer, who's 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. It's 6-0 Kansas City.
Contrasting styles of Chasen Shreve and some of the other lefties in the Yankee bullpen. Shreve's best secondary pitch is a split finger fastball. His slider is probably his 3rd best pitch, so he doesn't profile as a matchup guy. He's more of a long inning middle guy. Can get both righties and lefties out. Pitch several innings for you. That's why we really haven't seen him in high leverage situations yet in the 7th or 8th inning. Well, Wilson's been that guy so far, and of course at the end of the game you've got Miller.
2-1 to Hosmer.
I think when the Yankees get ready, they have options. Update on Jacob Lindgren in AAA, the #1 draft last year. The lefty reliever has got a 1.42 ERA in Scranton.
And he's a lefty specialist.
He's a lefty specialist with a wipeout breaking ball. He's also got somewhere north of an 80% ground ball rate too, from the last numbers I've seen. So I think Shreve, some people even thought maybe he might profile as a starting pitcher because of how good that splitter is. More of a middle inning long guy.
And he strikes out Hosmer on the fastball. Now 2 outs.
Although we could see Girardi give him some high leverage situations more in the 7th and 8th innings with a lead, but you could see there 93 right on by. Hosmer sitting on something off speed late on the fastball.
I think Girardi is still kind of searching, David, for the guy that goes before Betances. As we talked about this Friday, Betances and Miller have been lights out, and the bullpen is highly regarded, but the guys before them have been sketchy at times. Fly ball off the bat of Morales. Beltran's there, and Shreve works a 1-2-3 inning. We're going to take it to the 8th here in KC. The Royals 6, Yankees nothing. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Opponents hit .087 against them. You have to have an earned run against them. But the rest of the bullpen, and this does not include what Rogers did today, 3.98, 233. Now, that's not awful, but it's not the shutdown bullpen that they're looking for. They still have to find those roles leading up to those other two.
Yes, and obviously Martin on the DL with his elbow injury.
I think a big disappointment for them has been David Carpenter. Girardi was pitching him in high leverage innings at the beginning, and he fell out of favor right away. And you have Rogers and Wilson. Right now the bullpen has Pinder in it as well. So we'll see what they do as we move along. The Hyundai scoreboard, KC leads 6-0 as we move to the 8th. And Wade Davis has come on against Stephen Drew. There's a strike. Davis is part of that nearly unhittable trio that close out games for the Royals. He has not allowed a run in 16 games. And he also has a streak of 98 consecutive homerless innings. And that's the longest streak in the majors.
It's an incredible extended run of excellence from Wade Davis. Actually, took over the closer role this year when Holland was down for a bit with an injury.
Now, we talked about that deal they made with Kansas City. And the big prize to Kansas, or to the Tampa Bay Rays, was Will Myers, who has since been traded. But they got back Shields and Wade Davis. So Shields is gone, but Davis remains.
And ironically, Shields and Myers are teammates now in San Diego. I guess San Diego won the trade.
But they gave up Steven Souza Jr., who looks like a pretty good player with Tampa Bay. Stephen Drew swings and misses. He's 0 for 3. Now 3 for 22 on this road trip.
Excellent finish pitch, straight down with the drop on that hard curveball.
Here's Gregorius against Davis. Didi is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground ball to first. 2 for 18 on the road trip. So the Yankee offense seemed like it awoke from its slumber last night with the home run by Headley and then by A-Rod. But during the losses on this road trip, there's been no offense. 12-1 Friday. No runs today, losing 6-0. The 3 losses in Tampa Bay, they didn't score a lot of runs. So Joe Girardi has said offenses will go into slumps. Pitching is what carries you through those slumps. And today they did not get great pitching from Capuano.
And they got their best start of the year from any of their starters today by Volquez. Have a game score of 76 on his game today. 51 is average. The highest game score of any Royal starter so far this year.
You know, it's going to be interesting, David. We mentioned Stephen Drew is 0 for 3. And I'm reading on Twitter that Rob Refsnyder hit 2 home runs at AAA today. So it's the old question. A team that's slumping, do you want to add offense and compromise the defense, or do you stick with Drew? I think the Yankees will stick with Drew.
Oh, I think so, certainly for a while. It's good to see Refsnyder doing so well. He started out slowly, been hot with the bat lately, playing better defense too as well.
First game of this road trip, the Yankees scored 11 runs against the Rays, and since then, a total of 11 runs.
I think Stephen Drew's such a versatile defender. Obviously very good at shortstop. He's the only backup shortstop the Yankees have right now. Jose Perella not really a candidate to play shortstop. Drew can also play third, as he's shown recently.
And since they say they will not play A-Rod at third, he's the only backup third baseman. But the writers really asked Joe a lot of questions about continuing to believe in Drew before yesterday's game. And Joe said, I see it. He said, it doesn't mean anything coming from me until you see it start to translate onto the field. But yesterday, Drew rewarded him with 2 hits. But today, 0 for 3. 1-2 now to Ellsbury.
You know, it's sort of the old saying, Michael. You get through the first 2 months, you get through May, and you figure out where you are. And then you spend the month of June and July trying to figure it out in terms of the trade deadline and the answers to the problems that you have. So
here's the 1-2 to Ellsbury. To Meredith, you have something else?
Well, Michael, Stephen Drew spoke in the clubhouse after the game yesterday. If you remember, one of those 2 hits was opposite field, and Drew said that he's changed his approach a little bit. You guys had talked about it prior to that at bat, about the team shifting on him. Why doesn't he just try to go the other way, pick up some easy hits that way? And he said that's something that he's certainly trying to do, especially lately, knowing that he's been struggling offensively. He's kind of changed his mindset and tried to go the other way a little bit more.
And the one opposite field hit he got was a blooper that landed just inside the left field line. So today for Drew, a fly ball to center, fly ball to left, and a strikeout. So the count 3-2 on Ellsbury, runner on first. That's Gregorius with 1 out here in the 8th. Fastball misses outside, and another walk. Runners on first and second, 1 out for the Yankees. That'll bring up Gardner.
Well, how many times you see this with an elite reliever coming in and sort of just to get your work in a 6-0 game. There's just a little different edge, adrenaline rush. Davis just a bit off.
Gardner 0 for 3 in this game. Struck out looking, 2 fly balls to left.
We saw that with Mariano Rivera for years in these types of situations when he needed to just get work in. A little different edge to these elite, high-power relievers.
Done a good job with runners in scoring position, 308. He's hitting 298 overall. Yankees have not had many opportunities today, just 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. That was the strikeout by McCann with runners on first and second, 2 outs in the 4th. That's the only time, other than this one in the 8th, that they had a runner at second base. That's how dominant Volquez was. And the 0-2. 1-2.
Volquez was very good, as was Sabathia last night, to stop the losing streaks. Makes Sabathia's game even all the more important last night. The Royals came out here today and jumped up 6-0 here late.
The 1-2. Slice the other way, foul. 1-2. Rip foul.
Probably a little more work than Ned Yost wanted to see out of Wade Davis out there. The 24th pitch coming.
Off the glove of Wade Davis. That's going to be a base hit, and the bases are loaded. So base hit for Gardner, and with the bases loaded, that'll bring up A-Rod.
No chance after the ricochet with the speedy Brett Gardner.
Well, A-Rod 1 behind Babe Ruth, 2 behind Lou Gehrig, 5 behind Barry Bonds on the all-time RBI list. Now, some might argue that Babe Ruth has more RBIs, but he had a big RBI season before RBIs were an official statistic. So the Elias Sports Bureau is the statistician of Major League Baseball, and that is the number that they use. So he's just 1 behind Babe Ruth. A-Rod doubled off the wall in right center. He's 1 for 3. Yankees one of 3 teams in Major League Baseball that have not been shut out this year. The Tigers and the Blue Jays the other. Foul back to 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Good swing, just a little up and out of the zone.
Now the breaking ball drops in there for a strike. So 97 to 86.
Yes. Good quality. You could tell there's tight spin on that breaking ball when hitters react the way Alex just did. Kind of buckled them.
Swing and a miss. Got him. 2 outs.
Well, he got 1 pitch to hit, and it's the first one. And he had a good swing, but fouled it back. And then a knee buckler. And finished with a good 0-2 slider down and away. Gone fishing.
That's a nasty slider. 92 miles an hour on a slider. So here's Garrett Jones hitting in place of Mark Teixeira, who left the game in the bottom of the 7th. Jones took over at first. Mark was hit on his right foot in the 4th inning. And Jones grounds to Hosmer, who flips to Davis, and the Yankees cannot play to run. No runs, a hit, and the bases are left loaded. We go to the bottom of the 8th. highlights and analysis from today's finale and a preview of the upcoming interleague showdown with the Nationals. It's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame, only on Yes. All right, we go to the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th at 6-0 KC. Perez, 2 RBIs, a home run and an RBI single, also a fly ball to left. Hyundai scoreboard 6-7-0, leading 0-4-2. Chasing Shreve in his 2nd inning of work. Inside.
And much needed work for Jason Shreve. Trying to walk it off, a little foul ball off his foot.
Crowd of 31,251, 97,706 for the series. Friday was the biggest crowd as Jason Frazier gets ready. And we mentioned earlier the Royals were lamenting the bad weather forecast for Friday and Saturday might have kept the crowd down. It's also graduation weekend here in KC. But 3 good crowds. Fly ball shallow right. Beltran makes the play for the first out. Tomorrow, an off day for the Yankees. They will travel to D.C., so they'll enjoy an off day in the nation's capital. Everyone will be off except those involved in the throwing session with Tanaka. And then back to it on the road against the Nationals. 2 games in D.C., Tuesday and Wednesday night. Both games will be on Yes.
Who do you got? Flash coming to see you?
Yeah,
the games?
That'll be good. And D.C. is big for John because George Washington graduate.
That's right. Strong connection. See, that's the beauty of Yes, the Yes Network. You've had a pitcher's perspective for the last 7 games, and they're going to bring in a catcher and get his mindset. Got O'Neill every now and then. You get the hitter's perspective. And then there's Al Leiter.
He just gives you perspective. Meredith Morakovich tells us that Mark Teixeira has a right big toe contusion. They took x-rays negative. That's why he left the game when he did. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Infante down on strikes. Here's how Teixeira got injured. This was in the 4th inning. Couldn't get out of the way of that. It was on a 3-2 pitch as well. They can ill afford to lose him. He's been very good at the start of the season. Switch hitting bat, great defense. He's provided power.
A tremendous comeback for Teixeira this year. What that tells me, when you look at Teixeira's numbers this year, all the extra base hits, hitting for power, hitting opposite field home runs, is that wrist injury that he went through was just so severe that you need almost 2 years to come back from it.
Almost seemed like he didn't feel comfortable enough to really let it fly all of last year. Two and one on Orlando. 1 for 3 today. RBI double his last time up in the 6th. Doing a nice job filling in for the injured Alex Rios. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th for the Yankees, McCann, Beltran, and Headley. Three and one. Fly ball, center field. Ellsbury makes the play, and Shreve perfect with 2 1-2-3 innings. We go to the 9th inning, 6-0 KC. Your Hyundai dealer today. By IMG Academy Private School and Youth Sports Camps in Bradenton, Florida. And by Jeep. Come discover great deals during the Jeep Drive and Discover event. It comes down to the 9th inning for the Yankees, and Jason Frazier takes over. He's pitched well, his 15th game. Minuscule ERA. Yankees have yet to be shut out this year, as we mentioned, one of 3 teams in Major League Baseball to not have a 0 and a final score.
Worked around 10 hits and 7 walks, so 17 base runners and 11 1/3 innings, but only a 0.79 ERA. So that's some Houdini work there.
There's Brian McCann, 1 for 3. There's a strike. Up the middle and grabbed there by diving Infante, taking a hit away from McCann. David Infante's put on a show this whole series. Or was that Moustakas?
Yeah,
it was Moustakas with the shift.
It's hard to tell with the shift, but yeah, that is Moose.
Not too bad.
McCann robbed of another hit.
Here's Beltran, 0 for 3. Grounded and past Hosmer, and it trickles into foul territory as Beltran jogs into second with a double. So that extends his hitting streak to 9 straight games.
That's one thing Beltran has done this year. He's hit doubles. Adds another one to the ledger. Now 1 for 4 on the day.
Here's Chase Headley. Headley 1 for 3.
It's Beltran's 11th double on the year, which is the most on the Yankees.
Strike.
Frazier's been around a while. Broke in with Toronto in 2004. As you see, Headley's 1 for 3.
Count 1 and 2.
Had some good years in Toronto. Predominantly with the Blue Jays. Did have 1 year with the White Sox in 2011. Back to Toronto. That's always a good sign when you've been someplace for a while and then you leave for a year and they want you back and you end up back there. Ended up also in Texas for a year and now in Kansas City. A career 3.54 ERA. He is now over, I think he was a 10-year veteran last year, so over 10 years of service in the big leagues.
1-2. Grounded and through for a base hit. They're going to hold Beltran up at third as Headley picks up a single. Runners on first and third with 1 out. And that'll bring up Stephen Drew. No need for Espada to gamble with Beltran, who doesn't run well. He probably would have scored. Orlando didn't even look like he was about to throw home. But you're down by 6 runs, you have to make sure. Drew 0 for 3. Fly ball to center, fly ball to left, and a strikeout. Yankees looking to get on the board. We're in the 9th inning. It's 6-0 KC. Drew 4 home runs, 10 ribbies. And that one is laced into left field. Dyson's there. Not deep enough to score Beltran. That was a little bit of what Meredith was talking about. You could see he tried to go to left field there. So Drew 0 for 4.
Yes, indeed, Michael, I agree. It's one of the first times we've seen him try to do that. Up and away. Tries to shoot it to left. Hits it well without any luck. Right at him.
Well, here is Didi Gregorius. 0 for 2 with a walk so far on this road trip. 2 for 18 for Didi. Hitting .206. Still looking for his first home run of the year. He has 7 runs batted in. Not holding on Headley at first. He could take off for second whenever he likes. Hosmer deep. There goes Headley. And he'll take second on defensive indifference.
Six to nothing game. Should be pretty easy to get a sign, but for some reason it's not.
Two 2-0 with a high fastball. Some action in the Royals bullpen. Ned Yost just in case. And that's Greg Holland. Two and one. Well, David mentioned when he saw the numbers on Frazier, he's letting a lot of runners on, but somehow he wiggles out of it. That's what he's trying to do here. Giving up 2 hits. So more base runners for him. And Perez trying to work him through it. Second and third, 2 outs. 9th inning, Yankees trailing 6-0.
Alrighty then.
Two and two. It seemed that time as if Perez says, throw what you want. I'll catch it.
Basically 3 pitches, fastball, slider, and a changeup, kind of a split change.
Ron Guidry has told me that Thurman Munson used to say, throw whatever you want, I'll catch it. I'll react to it.
Frazier's always been a very deliberate worker. You see him walk around the mound after every pitch. Really takes his time.
And the 2-2. Lofted into left center. Coming on is Kane. And he makes the play to end the game. He took away a couple of ribbies from Didi Gregorius, and the Royals beat the Yankees 6-0. So Kane took that one right off the grass for the final out. Let's see how close it was. Not so much just off the grass, but he does make the play, tumbles down, and that'll do it. So on a day when the Royals wearing throwback uniforms, the Yankees would like to throw this one back. They get shut out for the first time this season, and they lose 2 out of 3 to the Kansas City Royals. Still have a lot to do here from the ballpark, but first, we'll throw it back to the studio where Ryan Rucco, Ken Singleton, and Jack Curry will set the table.